Hi, this is Cairo live from Malaysia. Bangi, welcome to Ice Chat Innovation, Change and Entrepreneurship. See you in 5 minutes.
I'm here with Oleg Konovalov, #1 influential coach in the world in the area of social media.
And why leaders need to be visionary in the post-pandemic situation like now?
The greatness of your success is much depends on the greatness of your vision. Pandemic didn't make a difference. It's revealed a difference between true leaders and managers. And we are really good at finding problems. And if we're looking for the problems, we'll find them. Visionary leadership it goes beyond immediacy. It's about finding solutions, which is very, very different. So visionary CEO, it's a gem. It's a gem for people, for himself. COVID helped us to realize this, that we can't use old tools and practices to create the future. No one could build something on empty promises. Usually we say that we are making decisions, but the truth is we are about making a choice. And to do things, to do something which is challenging is always a decision. And not many people are good at it. And it's always great to see somebody coming for such conversations, because this is about a decision, or about to make a decision to live differently or to do something differently, which is incredible. So I'm really grateful when people coming for that, because their decision is far beyond the making a choice. It's very interesting.
Alright, this is Cairo again. Thank you so much for joining us at Ice Chat Innovation, Change and Entrepreneurship. Helping someone get back on their feet is good economics. Today I'm with someone very, very special, live from Hyderabad, Professor M.S. Rao. Welcome, Professor M.S. Rao. Hello.
Halo, selamat datang.
Selamat datang. Thank you very much, Professor Rao. Thank you so much for joining Ice Chat today as our guest speakers. And before I move on, I just like to have a little bit to share you a little bit of background about Professor Rao. Yeah, Professor Rao is known as the father of soft leadership. Yeah, he's also one of the judges in the Global Leadership Awards in Malaysia. Actually, Professor Rao comes to Malaysia quite often, and the last time he came was in 2016, where he keynoted the conference in Malaysia, and he was also for the HRDF conference back in 2016. He runs workshop, also training programs, and also a consultant to many companies in his leadership. And his new book, See the Light in You. Can you show us the book, Professor Rao?
Okay, I will show it. So let me say a few words about Malaysia.
Okay, go ahead. All right, go ahead.
Thank you, Khairul, for giving me this wonderful opportunity to be on your show.
Right.
And I love Malaysia very much because Malaysia is my second home.
Wow,
And
that's it.
Malaysia is truly Asia because I have come many times as a judge for Global Leadership Awards Malaysia. Then I keynoted an international conference in Malaysia. I was speaker for HRDF 2016.
Mm-hmm.
So I conducted today workshop on multi-generational workforce. So
Wow.
I keep coming to Malaysia regularly, and I feel very happy that I am connected back to my fellow Malaysians. Although I am not a Malaysian, but I
Yeah.
love Malaysia very much. Even I blogged about Malaysia.
Pleasure. Thank you so much for. It's great to have you on board. You're one of the icon of leadership, no, in the world. And yeah, please show us your book, the special
I will show
book.
my book. Yeah.
Yes.
This is a book titled "See the Light in You."
Right.
This book is the best-selling book in the world, and this book is on mindfulness, wellness, and leadership.
Yeah. And this book you shared with me has a forward from Dalai Lama.
Yeah, His Holiness
Yeah.
Dalai Lama
Right.
has been kind, and he wrote a foreword for this book. This is the hallmark of this book. And secondly, this book I have dedicated to Vice President of India, Mr. M. Venkaiah Naidu.
All
Mr. M.
right.
Venkaiah Naidu is the present Vice President of India. I
Yeah.
have dedicated this book to him because
Right.
I admire his leadership.
Right.
These two are
Okay.
the greatness. These two are the hallmarks of this book. One is forward by His
Yeah.
Holiness Dalai Lama. Second, dedicated to our beloved Vice President, Mr. M. Venkaiah Naidu garu.
Okay. All right. So now let's get into this topic of today, Professor Rao. So the topic of today is called "How to Acquire Spiritual Powers to Achieve Mindfulness." Yeah. So in your, which is also you cover in that book for the chapter you provided me. So in your experience, Professor Rao, what is spiritual powers in this context of today?
Spiritual person is something we believe in it, but we can't back up with scientific evidence. Like spiritual powers are some powers which are within the universe, and people are connected through spiritual powers because many ancient sages and saints from various countries they explored
All right.
this spiritual power, and they have acquired spiritual power
Right.
through some practices. So
Right.
these spiritual powers are very much essential in the current context, especially due to the COVID-19,
Mm-hmm.
and because of the growing technology, people are having loneliness, and people are depressed. There are so many challenges. Technology
Yeah.
is good, but it's bad in some aspects. People have become lonely, and people are anxious. They have developed anxiety, depression,
Yeah.
loneliness, all those things. So
Yeah.
I wrote this book so that people can see the light in their lives instead of looking at the darkness. That's the reason for writing this book.
Right. So talking about spiritual powers that you said just now, and especially for after COVID-19, right? I mean, we know spiritual powers is very popular for individual, right? But for organization, does organization needs to have spiritual powers as well?
Yes, agreed. Why? Because globally there is a major challenge, that is getting the right talent and retaining the right talent. That is the major challenge, one. Secondly, the employees are disengaged due to various reasons. So to engage employees effectively, so there is need for mindfulness. That's the reason most of the companies, especially like Google, Facebook, they are giving some time for the employees so that they can recharge themselves. And some of the companies, they are conducting mindfulness training programs
Right.
so that it helps them remain cool and composed. As a result, they will be able to focus on their work creatively, and the productivity and the performance will go up. So these things like spiritual powers or mindfulness, all these things are being more emphasized in the recent past.
I
And
see.
especially this COVID-19 has highlighted its importance more.
So you mentioned a number of things about spiritual powers and also mindfulness, right? I mean, what's the difference between these two, and why do we need to achieve a mindfulness in this context? Because today we are very busy, right? Maybe we cannot stop on holding our phone. We have gadgets around us, but what's the need of being mindfulness in this situation right now?
Your question has got answer also. Why? Because we are holding gadgets and we are captured by technology, and we are being distracted every now and then. As I told some time back, technology is both good and bad. Bad in the sense, like we are being distracted every now and then due to notifications and various things, bombarded with a lot of information
Right.
about. But again, technology is good in many aspects because you and I are connected because of technology. You are from Malaysia, I am from India, but we are connected because of technology. And at the time of COVID, technology has helped connected all people across the world. So it's very obvious that technology is very much essential.
Yeah.
And we must know how to use technology in the right way. So we must harness technology for global good. See, especially during this coronavirus pandemic, people worked from home. If there were no technology, people wouldn't have worked at home. One. Okay, the challenges for global organizations would have been manifold if there were no technology. Thanks to technology, that people were at home and they started working, and they maintained and sustained their organizations by adding value. So it's both good and bad how we take it. So technology is to be taken in a right spirit, in a right way.
Right.
So this mindfulness helps us to remain cool and composed, to focus clearly on what it is. So let me define what is mindfulness is all about. Mindfulness is all about living in the present and without bothering about the unpleasant past which can't be changed, and without bothering about the future which we can't predict. And according to the research, people waste 30% of their precious time by thinking about their unpleasant past which can't be changed. So mindfulness is the need of the hour in the current context. Then there is so many companies, they started realizing they are focusing more on mindfulness, and there are more books on mindfulness globally.
Yeah. So talking about this, Professor Rao, what are some of the practice of mindfulness that you can share with us? Maybe one technique that maybe you can share with us.
But there are so many things. Plenty, like mindfulness means there are various aspects, like you can do it through meditation, you can go to gym and do workout, then people do yoga. So these are all the things that will that come, they are all the subset of mindfulness. So mindfulness is what you can do is, for instance, if people have got some challenges, you have the power within you. That means you can unlock your subconscious mind. Because we are operated 95% from our subconscious mind, only 5% we are operated from conscious mind. For instance, if you have a goal of bagging a Nobel Prize, for instance, so what you need to do is 15 minutes before you go to bed, give commands to your subconscious mind that I am getting the Nobel Prize, I am getting the Nobel Prize. And if I want to become President of India, 15 minutes before I go to bed, I have to give commands that I am becoming President of India, I am becoming President of India. So when we give commands in that way before going to bed.
Mhm.
So what happens? These things will be processed during the sleep. Our
Mm.
subconscious mind will be more effective around 18 times during the
Wow.
sleep. Next day
Mm.
morning, what happens? Our behavior, personality, attitude changes. We start behaving in that way. We start
Mm.
thinking in that direction, and we
Mm.
start going in that direction, and we will
Mm.
be able to accomplish our goals. This is the
Wow.
technique people have to follow. We always say, no, you
Mm.
have the power within you. You have the power within you. Yes,
Mhm.
how we have the power, that is leveraging our subconscious mind in a
Mm.
productive way, in a positive way. Whatever you want, you can achieve it through your subconscious mind. That's what I strongly believe in.
Right. I mean, I'm glad that you can share. I think that's such a practical and very simple tool where you can just do it. Some people call it affirmation, right? The positive affirmation before you sleep and do that, right? But somehow, some people, let's say, if they are in the dark situation where they cannot see other way out, how can we help them practice this technique that you mentioned just now?
No, this is the technique, anyone can follow it, and it's
Mm.
no way connected with positive affirmations or visualization. Visualization is something different. You are visualizing about your goals that you are going to achieve it, and affirmations means the positive statements that you are making. That
Mm.
is, they are different from naysayers and negative statements. Okay, affirmation is different, visualization is different, and what I told is about unlocking the power of subconscious mind. This is different.
Right.
I hope
Okay.
I have made things very clear.
It is. It
So
is.
when people are depressed, see, we are humans, and we come up with a lot of emotional baggage.
Mm.
Okay, so then we need to emphasize on emotional this mindfulness. So what
Mm.
we can do is we have to train our subconscious mind in a positive one, uh, positive and in a constructive way, so that we will be able to come out of the depression, and we will be able to face challenges with confidence.
Mm. Okay, right. So how can we use spiritual powers to achieve mindfulness? Actually, from what we wanted to talk about today.
Now, I told you spiritual powers means there are some powers which are there within the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They are known as spiritual powers, but it can't be proved through science. You can heal your
Mm.
any diseases, you can heal your illness. There are people
Mm.
who beat cancer and survive from cancer. And
Mm.
I advise many people in the current
Mm.
global pandemic, people
Mm.
can beat COVID-19 with the
Mm.
power of subconscious mind.
Wow.
With the power of
Wow.
subconscious mind, what they can say is for instance, somebody has got coronavirus. It's a
Mm.
matter of mind. Okay, many
Mm.
diseases can be healed through the power of mind. So what they have to
Mm.
say is, if someone is affected with coronavirus, I am coming out
Mm.
of this virus. I am coming out of this virus. I am coming out of this virus. They give
Mm.
commands to the subconscious mind. Automatically, they strengthen their subconscious mind, and they will be able to beat the COVID-19. For instance, if you
I
have
see.
some financial challenge or any problem, family problem or anything, you feed your subconscious mind in a positive way, constructive way. Yes, I am coming out of this challenge. I am coming out of this challenge. You say to yourself
Mm.
every day before going to bed. Things
Mm.
will be processed, and next day morning you will come out with some solutions. And
Mm.
when I write any books, what I do is one day before I plan. So tomorrow I have to write an article. So
Mm.
before going to bed, I give commands. So tomorrow I am going to write this article. So these are all the issues I am going to talk about. I feed my subconscious mind. Next day morning, my mind will flow along with that, and I will be able to find better content. I will be able
Mm.
to get more content. So with the
Mm.
power of my subconscious mind, I am able to become more creative, and I am able to crack more books and more
Right.
articles.
Right. So you are saying that if we practice what you call the mindfulness and using the spiritual powers, we will become more creative and more innovative. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, if you concentrate more on spiritual powers, you become more peaceful, and you become more
Mm.
uh, pleasant, and you
Mm.
become cool and composed, and you develop
Right.
the attitude of gratitude, because gratitude is the thing which is very much required.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
so spiritual powers are different. Mindfulness is different. Spiritual
Mm.
powers, wellness, all those things fall under the category of mindfulness.
Right. So in terms of the goal of being mindful, right? Why do we want to be mindful? Because there must be an objective. We want to be mindful. Other than being peace, we want to also find happiness, right? I mean,
Yeah.
happiness today is no longer just about having material and money, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
would this be something that we have to achieve, like the happiness for ourselves using mindfulness?
Yeah, this is the point I highlighted in this
Mm.
book titled See the Light in You. In the
Mm.
last chapter, I mentioned very clearly that happiness lies within, not outside.
Mm.
Unfortunately, people, what they do, they search for happiness elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But the
Mm-hmm.
fact is that happiness lies within us, not outside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you
People,
see, Professor Rao,
let me
Professor
add
Rao,
one more
but
thing. Let me
okay,
add.
okay,
People
right.
search for stones by leaving gems at home. People search for stones by leaving gems at home. Happiness is not outside, happiness is within us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's there in our mind, how we frame
Mm-hmm.
our mind. This is what I mentioned at the end
Mm-hmm.
of this book. The
Mm-hmm.
message is health first,
Mm-hmm.
education second, wealth
Right.
third. When you are healthy, you'll be able to concentrate on education. When you are having good education, you'll be able to create wealth. This is the slogan, this is the message I have given in the last
Mm-hmm.
chapter of this book titled See the Light in You.
Mm. All right. I mean, I think that's very interesting. So the question I wanted to ask is, when you mentioned that the happiness is within, not outside, but for people who have gone through hardship, only then they realize that happiness is within, right, not
Yes,
outside. But how
yes.
do we encourage people, or rather help people who have not gone through hardship but feel miserable as well? How can we help them? For example, the young children today, yeah, the young children today, according to some statistics, they are going through a lot of depression. They're going through a lot of challenges, right? How do we help them going into this happiness and mindfulness from your perspective?
See, my message in this book is very clear.
Mm.
I told all the parents across the world, give good character, good education to children.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Parents must give good character and good education to the children, not wealth. But
Mm.
unfortunately, what parents are doing, especially from Asian countries, they started giving wealth. When they started giving wealth, they are not realizing how to create wealth.
Mm.
I hope I have made the things very clear.
Yeah.
See,
Mm-hmm.
in my personal life, I am from a below middle class family. I
Mm-hmm.
have so many challenges. I was
Mm-hmm.
born in a toxic family. I grew up in a toxic environment. Then
Mm-hmm.
I faced so many hardships, and I didn't
Mm-hmm.
have regular education like others. I joined Air Force at the age of 19. Then I acquired all the qualifications. Like,
Right. Right.
so that means when I underwent all these challenges, I have become very
Yeah.
strong. As you said, I
Mm.
have become very strong. I have,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I'm very stubborn in certain aspects. I'm
Mm-hmm.
flexible, but in some aspects I have become stubborn because of the challenges, sufferings,
Mm-hmm.
struggles I have undergone. Because
Mm-hmm.
I was cheated by some of my rogue relatives and siblings. All these challenges have made me tough. So
Mm-hmm.
children have to be taught how to face challenges.
Mm-hmm.
One, and they have to be given good character, good education. So
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
what happens, uh, they when you give good character, they grow as healthy citizens. When you
Mm-hmm.
give them good education, they can get employed, or they can become job seekers or job providers, and they can find
Mm-hmm.
their own. And if you teach them how to face challenges, they will be able
Mm-hmm.
to face the challenges. They will be able to encounter failures easily, and they will be able to find better solutions, and they will be able to understand the meaning of life.
Right, right. I think that's very insightful, Professor Rao, about for parents that they can provide good character and good education. It's very key, yeah, very
Yeah,
key.
true. And third thing
Yeah.
is teach them how to face challenges.
Teach.
Parents
Okay.
must teach children how to face challenges
Mm.
so that they will become very strong. They will become as true leaders. When they face challenges,
Right.
their real talent will come out, their potential will come out, and they
Yeah,
will be able
yeah.
to become, they will be able to grow as leaders. When you look at Abraham Lincoln,
Mm.
he rose from so many challenges.
Mm.
He is my inspiration since my childhood. I have
Mm.
undergone so many challenges since my childhood. I
Mm.
was born in a poor family, toxic
Mm.
family, toxic
But
environment.
today's parent, they like to give, they call it support, help their children so much that the children may not be able to face the challenges more than they should, right?
Yeah, because as a professor in education institution, this is what I have seen. Because
Mm.
parents give everything to children on platter, and
Mm-hmm.
children, they don't understand how much pain the parents have taken to bring that wealth. So that is the reason I started preaching everywhere. Parents, everyone, see, give good character, teach them value system, and give them good education. Teach them how to face challenges. That's enough.
Mm. Right, right.
Unfortunately, parents, they love kids. Even every parent love kids. It's quite natural. But there are some ways where we need to draw the thin line between love and the responsibilities.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's a thin line. It is very, and it depends on the certain family, the upbringing, and all that. You're right. But I totally agree that that as parent, you need to allow your kids to make mistake also, right?
Yes, yes,
Yes,
we learn
that's
from mistakes. We have
yes.
to make mistakes. You see, without making mistakes, you can't grow big. I am telling you very clearly. But
Yes.
not deliberate mistakes. We make mistake means something happened without
Mm.
our knowledge because we have tried. We have to learn lessons
Right.
and move on. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So we are almost running out of time. So talking about organization, right? Now after the pandemic, there are so many pressure in the companies, in terms of profit, in terms of customers, changing market competition. How can the organization leaders, CEOs or directors of company can use mindfulness to help not just themselves but organization as well?
See, the fact is that everyone has challenges, whether it's an employee or a CEO. Only thing, CEOs don't disclose their challenges because they have to lead from the front,
Mm.
right? They maintain as if everything is normal, but internally they too have their own challenges like loneliness, mental illness. Everybody has got. Because recently I have read articles where I have come out, where I have come to know that even senior leaders and like CEOs, they have some mental illness because of this COVID-19. So it's a very big challenge, and we have to appreciate the CEOs and the leaders who are telling very openly that they too have this mental illness
Right.
in the wake of COVID-19. So what
Right.
we need to learn lessons is this pandemic is a lesson for us to emphasize on humanity, to emphasize humility, and to emphasize on hope. So I have come out with one more book titled COVID-19 Human Search for Meaning. That book is likely to hit shelves very soon, maybe a month or 2 months. In that book, I told very clearly in the last chapter there is a message. Emphasize humility, humanity, and hope. This pandemic has made us humble. It has connected all people across the world that we are human beings. Whether you are a CEO or employee or a simple employee, COVID has no disparities. It can attack anybody. Whether you are prime minister of UK or king of
Boris.
any country or anything, coronavirus doesn't have any bias. It can attack anybody. So it's very obvious that it's quite natural, and we have to learn lessons from this, and we have to think that it's going to be better for us. Okay, and I give only a simple message from this COVID-19 is that this too shall pass. That is, this we will overcome this challenge as well, because we humans are very creative. We have the power of imagination, creativity. We will soon find a vaccine. Maximum by 6 months, we will come out with a vaccine, and hopefully we will be able to end this pandemic forever. But let us not rest on laurels, and we expect many more pandemics in the future. So we have to prepare for that by learning lessons from this COVID-19.
Right. I think that's a very interesting, a very good message over there. Very hopeful, Professor Rao, the message about the humility, about the humanity and hope. I think that's definitely something that we are all latching on right now. And like what you said, the pandemic makes us humble. I think that's a very powerful statement in this ice chat, right? So, one last question, Professor Rao, your message to all the audience and the world.
My message is very clear. I can give you multiple messages, but I'll give a couple of messages from this book based on the Sea Light in You. You must always emphasize on health first, education second, and wealth third. This is my slogan one from this book. Next book, which is going to be very soon, is about emphasize humanity. We are all human beings first. We are human beings last, and let us be humble. And let us emphasize hope. That is two. Third thing, since you have asked about parents, there is a gap between parents and children, that is generational gap. I request parents across the world to give good character and good education to children, and also teach children how to face challenges. And,
Right.
and to the children, I would like to say is that be ambitious, don't be over ambitious. Achieve
Okay.
success with integrity. Don't cut corners. So these are
Right.
the messages I would like to give to the students,
Right.
children, parents, and the leaders across the world.
Right. Thank you so much, Professor Rao. I think it's been a great session having you on board today on Ice Chat. I look forward to your new book, in coming soon on COVID challenge. What COVID make us humble.
COVID-19, human search for meaning. That's the book.
Woman search for meaning. Yeah, that's the one, right? So with that, thank you so much. I hope to see you again.
And let me thank you for giving me this wonderful opportunity to connect with my fellow Malaysians who are like my brothers and sisters. And it is indeed a true honor to share my ideas and insights through you. I am grateful to you for this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Pleasure so much. See you again. Take care. Bye bye. Yes. So let's give a big hand to Professor Rao from Hyderabad, India. He is mentioned about the topic for today is on how to acquire spiritual powers and to achieve mindfulness. His very strong message over there that we need humanity, we need humbleness and also hope. Yeah, and I think this is something that we all need to learn. And the pandemic, definitely, I could agree with you. The pandemic makes us humble, not just Malaysia, not just from India, everywhere around the world, whereby there's a lot of challenges. There are some of us who lost some of their loved ones, and pandemic, as we know, hit everybody. Yeah? They don't care, except the plant, except the animal. But I heard there's some animal getting infected now. So that's Professor M.S. Rao, the father of soft leadership. Very simple guy. I'm very humble to be able to interview him on this topic. And check out his book, See the Light in You. I've read some of the chapters from him, but and from that reading of the chapter as well, I found out this is a great material. I invited him. So with that, thank you so much for staying with Ice Chat tonight. Innovation, change, and entrepreneurship. Helping someone get back on their feet is good economics. Help someone out there, stay inspiring, stay healthy, stay safe. To all Malaysian, Muslim Malaysian, Selamat Hari Raya Aidil Adha. You could see me in my baju Melayu tonight. It's Teluk Belanga. I wear it on purpose. So see you again next week. Next week we have someone very special on iChat. I think I should bring up over here solar entrepreneurs. Mr. Shahiwan, solar entrepreneur from Suncrop. Yeah, he's a solar entrepreneur from Suncrop. Mr. Shahiwan, very, very prolific guy, very, very successful in installing solar, particularly not just for business, but also for social purpose. Yeah, I brought him for a very good reason, because he really want to share about his topic, the economics of solar energy, opportunities and obstacles. Right? Solar energy for us. And as we know, solar energy is very expensive, very hard, but are we doing this at the expense of the nature, the way we consume electricity? And so solar definitely one way, but I want you to hear from Nur Shahiwan himself, from Sunkrok, founder and also a social entrepreneur. So with that, thank you so much. Bye bye. See you again on Monday. Stay tuned for next Monday. Bye bye.